For news across the nation and around the globe, welcome to Prime TV News with me, Iftia Abdul Qadir. Your headlines first. President intervenes in finding solutions to environmental and problems faced by the people due to the Norachole coal power plant. Prime Minister claims the Sri Lanka Air Force has a wide experience which no other air force in the world has. Court to decide on 21st January on revised application against Rajitha's bail. Ranjan Ramanayaka's bail application has been rejected. UNP leadership crisis has not been settled. And on news overseas, Russian lawmakers approve Mikhail Mishustin as Prime Minister. In your local news this evening, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has intervened to find solutions to the environmental and problems faced by the people in affiliation to the Norachole coal power plant. The President drew his attention to this matter during a discussion held today with Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, and the Chilau Bishop, as well as the clergy and the laity of the area. The President emphasized that the power plant should function according to the technical and environmental requirements. The President also drew his attention to the damage done to the environment and the people due to the failure to comply with the directives laid down in the commencement of the project. The President said that the companies and authorities in charge of the project would be promptly advised on the steps to be taken. The Norachole coal power plant is generating 900 megawatts of electricity. A decision has not yet been taken with respect to the fourth stage. Gotabaya Rajapaksa also stressed the importance of focusing on alternative energy sources. The President stated that he too will be coming to inspect the activities of the Norachole power plant. He also stated that steps will be taken to solve the problems with the religious leaders and the people of the area. The government's plan is to generate 80% of the country's energy requirement through renewable sources by 2030. Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit pointed out that the President has to engage in a great struggle to eliminate corruption and irregularities in the development process. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa claims that the Sri Lanka Air Force has a lot of experience that no other air force in the world has.
සුබ උදෑසනක් වේවා තුමනි ජනාධිපති වර්ණ සහිත පෙළපාලියේ එක් අධිකාරියක් නිලධාරියෙක්ද අද දින අධිකාරියට පත්වන කෙනෙක් නිලධාරීන් 55 දෙනෙක්ද එක් පෙළපාලි බල්ලත් නිලධාරියෙක්ද සෙස්සන් 366 දෙනෙක්ද පෙළපාලි භූමියේ රැඳී සිටි කෙනෙක් නිලධාරීන් පෙරට පමුණුවා අධිකාරී ගැන්වීමේ ක්‍රියාවලිය කරගෙන යාමට ඔබගේ අවසරය තුමනි.
The Prime Minister was speaking on the occasion of the commissioning of officers and the award of flying brevets by the Sri Lanka Air Force today. Many cadet officers passed out on the occasion to shoulder the noble task of the Air Force themed Surakimu Lakambara. The appointment of cadet officers to the Air Force and the Flying Cadet Officers course were carried out under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. The Prime Minister emphasized that the Sri Lanka Air Force has a wide experience which no other air force in the world has. The armed forces are operative not only when there is a war. They are also entrusted a major task when peace prevails. The Air Force discharges a major task during calamities such as floods. Aerial performances and a colorful drill added color to the event. Governor of the Eastern Province, Anuradha Yahampath, and the Commander of the Air Force, Air Marshal Sumangala Dias, were among those who graced the occasion. On to a headline-making story. The Colombo High Court is to decide on 21st January if it will hear the revised application filed against the magistrate court order to grant bail to former Minister Rajitha Senaratne. Senaratne appeared in court today when the revised application submitted by the Attorney General was considered. Parliamentarian Rajitha Senaratne has been granted bail by the Colombo Chief Magistrates Court in connection with the presentation of unfounded facts at a press conference. The Attorney General has appealed for a revision petition to amend the bail granted by Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratne on December 30th and remand him. Deputy Solicitor General Dileepa Piris appeared for the Attorney General when the petition was taken up before Colombo High Court Judge Manjula Tilakaratne. Dileepa Piris stated that after the warrant was issued for his arrest, Senaratne disappeared suddenly and even later neglected an opportunity to give a statement to the investigative officials after being hospitalized. He pointed out that even the Chief Magistrate had not called for a medical report, and it is an act outside the normal action taken with respect to an ordinary person. Dileepa Piris said that he had made a mistake under the Presidential Elections Act as he had influenced the election results of the then presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa due to the false information revealed at a press conference using two people who had committed crimes. The additional Solicitor General stated that Rajitha Senaratne has been instructed to pay 2 million rupees to the two persons who appeared at the news conference. President's Counsel Anil Silva, appearing on behalf of Rajitha Senaratne, said that bail can be granted for the charges leveled against his client. The lawyer said that he had supported the judiciary from the beginning. He also said that if there is anything wrong with private hospitals and doctors, how to deal with them is a separate process. The Gangodavilla Magistrates Court today rejected a request by MP Ranjan Ramanayaka's lawyers to grant him bail. Meanwhile, the court ordered 4 media institutions to hand over Ranjan Ramanayaka's audio clips to the Criminal Investigation Department. Parliamentarian Ranjan Ramanayaka, who is in remand custody over the incident, was produced in the Gangodavilla Magistrates Court today. He is to stand trial on charges of possessing unlicensed firearm and live ammunitions. A team of lawyers appearing on behalf of Ranjan Ramanayaka has called on the Nugegoda Magistrates Court to release him on bail as he has been arrested not in a legal manner. Rejecting the request, Magistrate Harsha Palpola stated that the Magistrates Court has the power to issue or receive a warrant for any offence committed. His lawyers filed a bail application stating that a warrant could not be obtained by a magistrate court against Mr. Ranjan Ramanayaka. Deputy Solicitor General Dileepa Piris said that the lawyer who had applied for the bail when Ramanayaka was arrested had no right to make this request. Dileepa Piris pointed out that Ranjan Ramanayaka had been taken into custody after giving a lengthy evidence at the official residence of the Chief Magistrate. You're watching Prime TV News, and still on the local scene, United National Party General Secretary Akila Viraj Karyavasam has said that the parliamentary group meeting to select the leader of the United National Party was unsuccessful. The United National Party Parliamentary Group meeting was held at the Sirikota head office yesterday under the patronage of party leader Ranil Wickramasinghe. It was joined by opposition leader Sajith Premadasa. This meeting was held to take a final decision on the agreement reached during the recent UNP Parliamentary Group meeting. The meeting turned into a tense situation following the submission of proposals for the appointment of a leadership council and to grant its leadership to Karu Jayasuriya. Certain parliamentarians were seen leaving the meeting from time to time. There were obstructions made to journalists who had come to cover the event. Finally, a group of parliamentarians came out of the venue of the meeting shouting Jayaveva to Sajith Premadasa. United National Party General Secretary, parliamentarian Akila Viraj Karyavasam said that the decision with respect to the party leader was postponed for next Friday. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa has pointed out that everyone in the UNP is bound to solve any matter democratically. Sajith Premadasa expressed this view to the media after visiting the Dharmapala Rama Vihara in Mount Lavinia and receiving blessings, paying a courtesy call on the Mahanayaka, the most venerable Gampaha Pandita Kotugoda Dhammavasa Thera. The opposition leader said that today he called on the Mahanayaka Thera of the Amarapura Mahanikaya and received anushasanas and blessings from him and planned to traverse on their journey. He said he had full trust on all who are in their party. SLFP General Secretary Dayasiri Jayasekara states that the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will work together with all leftist progressive parties to win the next election. The State Minister made this statement addressing the media after the SLFP Central Committee meeting. Several other ministers expressed their views on the matter. State Minister Dayasiri Jayasekara said that the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and all progressive forces intend to work under one flag. They will also do their utmost for President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to form a strong government in the next 5 years, as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party dedicated itself for the victory of the president in the last election. He said that no force would be permitted to reverse the victory of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party will take the lead to defeat all other forces. He said that they had submitted the criteria necessary for the selection of candidates. Parliamentarian Nishantha Muthuhettigama said that they are prepared to contest from the Pohottua and bring victory to the village. Parliamentarian Shanta Bandara said that they, as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, would do their best to achieve a 2/3 majority at the election. Especially the chairman of the party has unanimously decided to support the president. He said that ordinary persons would not be fielded at the election. A code of ethics has been set up by the party and they have agreed to field the most suitable persons for the election. In other local stories, Minister Ramesh Patirana says that steps are being taken to increase the salaries of estate workers. He further stated that there is no problem in earning extra money. There are about 150,000 workers serving in estate companies receiving a daily wage of 1,000 rupees from March this year. 3 parties should get together for this purpose. They include the estate companies and the estate workers. They believed that the decided amount can be provided following the granting of much relief, including the reduction of VAT and the reduction of the nation-building tax. They have clearly identified that the said amount can be provided as a result of these measures. The Director General of the Civil Defence Force, Rear Admiral Ananda Piri, says that the President has decided to grant a general amnesty to all those who have left the service for the first time in the history of the Civil Defence Force and who have not been recruited for various reasons. Rear Admiral Ananda Piri mentioned that a general amnesty period has been granted to the civil defence officers who have left the service at the Civil Defence Department to report back to work before February 20th. This has been informed by the Defence Secretary, retired Major General Kamal Gunaratna. Information will be provided through the newspapers next week. There is a special application form prepared for this purpose. This application form is available in all regional offices. These applications should be directed to the Civil Defence Head Office before the 20th of February. He said that officers who have completed 10 years of service will receive a pension. Former chairman of the Pradeshiya Sabha, Sunil, has been sentenced to 15 years rigorous imprisonment. The order was given by the Colombo High Court. He was arrested over the rape of an underage daughter of a couple who was serving under him. An order was given to pay a fine of 25,000 rupees in addition to the prison term. The judge further ordered to pay a sum of 250,000 rupees to the aggrieved party. Former chairman of the Pradeshiya Sabha, Sunil, has been sentenced to 15 years rigorous imprisonment. The Attorney General had filed indictments saying that he had committed this crime in a restaurant in Akurasa in the year 2012. The Navy had come forward to repair a tank that can supply water for 400 acres of paddy lands. It was opened by the Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Pial de Silva, after the renovation of Mahaveva in Mattegoda. The Commander of the Navy also declared open a fitness center near the walking lane around Mahaveva. Funds had been provided for the construction of this center by the philanthropists of the area. The Navy repaired the tank. The Navy commander also joined in planting jackfruit saplings around the tank. The Navy commander said that following the reconstruction of the tank, many farmers and the people of the area can reap much benefits. About 400 acres can be cultivated with the water from this tank. This small tank has been reconstructed and it's also helpful for the fishermen. He said that he considered this as an example. Business News is up next. Sri Lanka is making a preliminary paddy harvest forecast of 2.4 million metric tons for the main Maha cropping season that is underway. This is in line with last year's levels. The Department of Agriculture said in a preliminary forecast that Sri Lanka would get 2,395 million kilograms of rice with 606,702 hectares sown, which is 74% of a target of 819,000 hectares. In 2018, Sri Lanka produced 3 million tons of rice in the Maha season when final cultivation numbers were out. Based on the last available cultivation data, Sri Lanka would produce 2.4 million metric tons of paddy after 20,000 hectares were destroyed by floods. This will result if at least 1.5 million metric tons of milled rice, which will be enough to supply 7.6 months of consumption. Last year's final production was higher at about 3 million metric tons. The Department of Agriculture has asked for water to be issued sparingly for the rest of the season due to worse than average dry weather forecast for the first quarter of 2020. For more information, visit www.itnews.lk. Thanks for your company. Bye-bye.